I greeted everyone with my traditional blessing. "The Lord be with you." And they would respond, "And God bless you." I noticed a woman I hadn't seen before, gleaning in the fields. I turned to one of my foremen. I said, Who is that?" He said, "Oh, that is Ruth. She just returned from Moab with her mother-in-law, Naomi. And she has worked hard all day and only rested once, just for a little while." A woman of character. "Listen, my daughter, stay in these fields. Keep your eyes here. Glean with my young women. They will look after you, and keep your eyes only on this. And my young men, have I told them not to touch you, but to protect you? And if you are thirsty, go with them where they have drawn water to drink."
Why have I found such favor in your eyes? For I'm a foreigner, I should not be taken notice of.
"It has been fully reported to me. All that you have done came to a land and a people that you did not know. May the Lord give you a full inheritance. May he repay you, for you have come under the wing of Lord God Almighty for refuge."
O Lord, you have comforted me, for you've spoken so kindly to your maidservant.
"We'll finish gleaning and come and join us for bread." "Foreman, call the gleaners." "Do not rebuke her. Let her actually glean amongst the sheaves. And do not reproach her. In fact, let's purposely drop extra from our bundles. Let us provide for her. Let us see what God might do." When she returned home to talk with her mother-in-law, she had 10 pounds of barley, a full ephah. As she walked in the door, I can only imagine what Naomi might have said. "Where have you been today? And whose fields did you glean? Who took notice of you?"
I was at the fields of Boaz.
"He is one of our close relatives. He's related to us."
He also told me to stay in his field, to stay by his young men and his young women.
"It is good, my daughter. Stay with his young women and do not go to any other field." So she did. That was over the next few months that I saw Ruth almost every day, several times a week, in fact. And she was a woman of virtue. There was nothing romantic going on. She was 20 years my junior. But oh, what a woman of character. What a hard worker. Well, then it was harvest time. There's one thing I love about harvest time. It is the chance to see and taste of the fruit of our labor. The men and I gathered together because after we thresh the grain, we have to protect it. See, the scheming of robbers is still around us, so the men and I, we sleep amongst the profits and the grain. But it wasn't the scheming of thieves I should be worried about. No, the real scheming that was going on was coming from Naomi. She was the one scheming. Scheming as a matchmaker. "He will be at the threshing floor tonight, and he will be winnowing his grain, so wash yourself. Wash yourself and get some perfume. Anoint yourself with oil and find your best garment. Put on your best garment and go to him. And notice where he lays down. And go to him. And uncover his feet. And lay down. And he will tell you what you must do." And she said,
All that you have said I will do.
And that night we had worked all day. We had winnowed all day. And I was exhausted. And we did eat quite a bit that evening. Tasting of the first fruits of what God had provided. I decided to turn in for the evening. Sometime around dusk, I found a spot to lay down amongst my men. Oh, what a day. What a day. Whew. I was awakened sometime in the middle of the night. My feet were cold. Who is it? It was Ruth, the maidservant, asking me to cover her with a corner of my garment. Oh, Ruth. Ruth, your kindness now is even greater than the beginning. I will do all that you ask, for all the town knows that you are a virtuous woman. But there is a relative closer than I, and if he will redeem the land, then he will redeem it. But if he will not redeem it, then I will. As the Lord lives, I will perform the duty. But do not go home empty-handed. Lay here, and in the morning you may go to Naomi, because I want you to be safe. Do not go out at night. In fact, take with you. Do not leave empty-handed. Take the barley with you. And tell Naomi that as the Lord lives, I will perform the duty, if he will not. Well, the next morning I awoke. I had to get to the city gate. That's where I would find him. I awoke and I headed to the gate. And there at the gate, I looked for him. And, friend, come aside, will you? I have business to talk of. Sit down, friend. And 10 of the elders came by and said, will you join us? Will you join us and sit with us? As you know, our brother Elimelech had a piece of land, and Elimelech died. And that land can now be redeemed to perpetrate the name of the dead. If you will redeem it, then redeem it. If you will not redeem it, then let me know, because I am next in line. He said he would redeem it. But I wasn't done yet. So if you want to redeem it, you must also marry Ruth. Well, now he was scared that his inheritance might be divided if they had an heir. So he said he did not want to redeem it. Therefore, I could redeem it. I turned to the elders and all around. I said, will you be my witnesses then? That all that is Elimelech's, I will redeem it this day to perpetrate the name of the dead. More than that, moreover, I will marry Ruth the Moabite. And they said, we are witnesses. We are witnesses. May God make this woman famous in Bethlehem. That like Jacob's wives, Rachel and Leah, who built the house of Israel. And may you have an offspring. Well, Ruth and I were married. And just as they had prophesied, we did have a child. And his name was Obed. And when that child was born to us, the maidservants took this child and they placed it in Naomi's arms and said, a child has been born to Naomi. Blessed be the Lord God who has not left you without a close relative and a kinsman redeemer. May he be famous in all of Israel, a nourisher of life and a restorer of all God has given to you. And blessed be Ruth, for she is better than 7 sons. And our son Obed was the father of Jesse. And Jesse would be the father of King David. And King David in a long lineage would lead to the final Messiah, the final forgiver, the promised one, the great judge, the great prophet, the Emmanuel, God with us coming to earth. And it all came from a marriage of a businessman and a Moabite.